Welcome to another episode of Off the Track. Usually it's Cody, but we've got Dalton today. Hey Dalton.
What's going on, my man?
By the way, this is only a recording at the moment.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were gonna put the fingers up more, but
Oh no.
um, it's been a crazy week.
Oh, for sure.
It's been nuts. We've had a lot happen. Um, some heartbreaking, some awesome. But lo and behold, um, we go and reply on the Bristol Motor Speedway's page, and the Cucumber Man found us. I don't want to say I found him. They found us, and we've been talking through the week. Awesome people. I've genuinely enjoyed texting them. So without further review, without further, I don't remember the word I'm trying to say. Without further ado, that's it.
There you
Ado,
go.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah. Without further ado, I want to welcome all three of them that are in here that were part of the Cucumber. I'm gonna let you guys say your name. Hey guys.
Hey,
What's up?
How you doing? Hey, it's Phil.
I'm Mark.
And I'm Jessy.
All right. Nice
All
to meet
right.
all three of you.
Yeah. So you guys have been like the most sought after people
We
the
try
whole week.
to meetups.
Everyone's been trying to find you. Like everyone. So we're like right off the bat, what's that been like? What's that been like to be like almost most wanted?
To be honest with you, it's been super anxious. Like I woke up Sunday morning, we drove home, and then I saw the Justin Nunley video, and it was like, who threw this? And I was like, okay, that's kind of funny, but I didn't really. And then everything started blowing up, and then it just became like anxiety, and I'm like, oh, I'm about to get banned from this track. Like, I'll be in so much trouble. So it's been, that's been really interesting, and seeing this really stupid thing that I did turn into just absolute chaos has been really funny, but also very terrifying at the same time.
Yeah. Honestly, dude, I feel like with how much fun Bristol Motor Speedway is having with this whole thing, I think you're safe to come back to the racetrack.
Right, yeah. So it was funny as I have a friend of mine, and he decided he was going to take it upon himself and started messaging all of like the high up people of Bristol Motor Speedway. So they're like, "Yeah, you're fine." Just
Oh, that's good.
so
Yeah, they thought it was hilarious. They're like, why? And okay, but
Well, to be fair, I don't want to give anything away because I want you guys to tell the story. I thought completely different than what the actual story was. Along with most of the people, I feel like everybody thought that it was intended to hit Denny. That's all I'm going to say. And that cracked me up. Even that cracked me up. I'm like, man, somebody threw produce at this guy. But after talking and after what you were telling me, I was like, wait, what? I was like, this is even more insane. So it's just crazy. I didn't know about the Cucumber. Dalton, when did we find out about that? Did we know about it that night?
Yeah, like they tweet. I think that I didn't find out about it until like Sunday morning.
Yeah, I don't think I found out about it the next day. So just tell me the story from, I think everybody's curious how does this Cucumber end up at the track? Why a cucumber?
Well, so like that was in a ton of these comments in the social media. It was like, how did he smuggle in this cucumber, right? Like, how did he get this thing in here? And like, it's like, tell me you've never been to Bristol without telling me you've never been to Bristol, because Bristol doesn't care what you take in. Like, you want to take in as much alcohol and food and whatever else you want, it's cool. It all has to fit in a backpack, and it has to not be glass. That's it. That's the only rules, right?
right.
So basically, if you've ever been to Bristol, the temperature said it was gonna be like 72. Well, that really means like 102 when you're in Bristol. Like temperature is different when you're there. You can get a sunburn when it's 40. I don't understand it. So you don't want a bunch of heavy snacks. You actually just kind of pack up, like we took watermelon and grapes and cucumbers and carrots and snacks and things, because we're camping for 4 days. So it ended up going into the track because we were rushing around getting ready to go because you don't want to miss driver intros at Bristol. Like Bristol driver intros are a sight to see. So I'm just winging things into this cooler, and we had a cucumber, and I was like, meh, throw that in there. That's funny. And I just threw it in the cooler, and off we went. And nobody, when I went through security, nobody batted an eye the fact that I had a cucumber. They batted an eye the night before when we had a bag of wine out of the box in the cucumber. That they found funny, but nobody at the gate made a mention of my cucumber.
So let me ask you this. So back then, before we started like disqualifying winners for having like illegal race cars, we had this thing called encumbered wins, which a lot of fans would call, cucumber wins. So I got to ask this. When you threw the cucumber out into the racetrack, were you hoping that Denny Hamiln could possibly get his win encumbered by any chance?
No, that really wasn't. No, I saw the comments about the encumbered win, and I was like, oh, that's clever, but I can't take credit for that.
All right, that's definitely fair enough. So let me just ask you all this: was this your first time at Bristol by any chance?
No, this is my fourth time being there.
It was my first time being, so I just thought everything. One goes with whatever's happening at the time. I was like, okay, well, this is wild enough. So I wasn't too surprised that the cucumber got all the attention, but I was just like, this is really intense. Like the whole weekend was really intense. Like I had no idea going into this that everyone was so passionate and everyone has their drivers and everyone's there to have a good time. Like it's definitely sure.
All right. So how'd y'all get into the sport? Like, what made you become a Kyle Larson fan? What made you a Kyle Busch fan? Jessy, who are you a fan of?
So with my dad, and he was a big Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Gordon, and so that's how I got into it and how I got the knowledge of it. But these new drivers and how they do it now, I have no idea. So I kind of fell out of it, and then when I met Mark, he was real passionate about it. So then I started watching races again, and that's kind of, and then I was supposed to go last year, and I ended up going to a festival. So then I was like, you know what, I should probably do it this year, and that's kind of, I guess I'll be doing it every year now.
All right.
I actually started going in 1997 with my dad and the group of about 15 guys. And back then I was a big Mark Martin fan. And then once he retired, I went to Matt Kenseth. Man, it's just, and I'm going to tell you, my son went to Kentucky Speedway, the first NASCAR race. They went there and he was like, who do we root for? It was like, well, root for whoever you want to root for. And he come back rooting for Kyle Busch because he liked the M&M car. So I was like, we'll just make this a family thing. We'll all start rooting for him. So that's how we started going for Kyle Busch, and he's been a hell of a guy to follow since.
Oh yeah, I'm a fellow Kyle Busch fan, so I like your pick right there. But what about you? How'd you get into Kyle Larson?
So a good friend of mine got me into NASCAR in the 90s, and he was a big Jeff Gordon fan. So I started kind of watching it with him. And then Jimmy Johnson came out as a rookie in 2001, and I was like, well, this is gonna be my driver, this is gonna be my horse. Let's do this. And now I'm spoiled. So at this point now, I've always stuck with Hendrick Motorsports. So and Kyle Larson can win in just about anything. So he's a good guy to root for.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah. I may be a Kyle Busch fan. Like you're supporting the wrong Kyle, but all seriousness, I respect Kyle Larson. I have since his rookie season. He's always been a fun driver to watch, whether it's on dirt or asphalt. Very respectable driver. I really really liked him like in the Chicago race back in 2018 when him and Kyle Busch had that incredible battle in the last lap, and Kyle Larson just gave Kyle Busch a thumbs up after they were hitting the wall, like beating and banging on each other. So it was pretty cool to see. So that's why I got into Kyle Larson. That's why I respect him so much. But back to, I guess, the Cucumber real quick. By any chance, has Bristol Motor Speedway like reached out to you guys or anything like that?
So a friend of mine, Andrew Earls, he decided that he's gonna go on LinkedIn and try to talk to Bristol, and so he got a hold of at least 2 different people in the marketing creative team somehow, and so like they were talking back and forth. He was talking back and forth on my behalf, and they thought it was really funny. They thought it was cool, but ultimately they're like, it's fine. You're not in trouble, but like we're not. We had our moment with this. We're cool. We don't want to advocate people throwing things onto the track. Yeah, I can appreciate that.
But on that, they kept it and put it in the freezer.
Yeah, that's true. That's probably going to go in the Hall of Fame, to be honest with you.
They need to give it to Denny Hamiln.
Yeah, exactly.
But what gets me is, and that's the thing, Mark, you didn't throw it, did you?
I did not. So really what happened is it's just, it's Bristol and it's crazy. And so this stupid cucumber is in my cooler backpack. And somewhere along the line, with about 40 laps to go, 30 some laps to go or so, I'm getting into the cooler and I figure out like we're getting low on beverages and there's cucumbers in there. And you just have that stupid moment where you're like, light bulb. And you're like, you know what? I've always seen like the driver comes up and he gets the flag from the start finish line, right? And then you have fans that are constantly like trying to hand the driver beers. You know what I mean? And I was like, you know what? I've never seen anybody hand him a cucumber before. Like regardless of who wins, and I'm a Larson fan and he was running second, but I was like, I don't care who wins this race. I'm handing them a cucumber. And so like we just ran to the start finish line with about 20 to go and got up there. And I couldn't get quite close enough to like, where the start finish line is. So, we're probably 10 yards from that or so. And Denny comes up and gets his flag and, waves at the 3 fans that were on that side. And then he goes back down to start doing his interview. And I'm standing here and my hand is through the fence and I'm still holding this silly cucumber. And then I'm just like, you know what? Let's see if I can get this to the start finish line. So I just kind of, put it through the fence and just tossed it. And I was like, well, maybe we can get it start finish line. That's funny. And maybe he'll see it then. And, but if he noticed it, he didn't show it. Like, I don't know how he didn't see it, but it was so funny because it just kept rolling toward him. But yeah, everybody thought that I threw it at him, and it was like no. I'm not advocating anybody throw anything at a driver. Like that's a good way to go to jail.
Yeah, because I watched the video and like it was just like rolling like down the start finish line.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you proved my theory wrong because obviously when you reached out to us, like I saw that you were a big Kyle Larson fan, and Kyle and Denny Hamlin have gotten into it a lot this season. So I thought,
it's been a rough
Kyle Larson fan. Yeah, he's probably still salty about Kansas or Pocono, but all right, well. So yeah, there you heard it here from folks. It's not a hate thing. It was just trying to hand Denny Hamlin a cucumber. That's it.
Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was totally on the whim idea where he just kind of blooped it right down on the track and it just rolled. But like there was no malicious intent. No, not at all. He would have done it the same if Kyle Larson was down there or if anybody had won. He was just trying to get this cucumber for some reason to the winner. So yeah.
I will be honest here. If it was Joey Logano, I might have tried to chuck it. I got respect for every driver in the garage except for him.
Yeah, I do want to say though, before when he realized that there was this whole cucumber, because I had asked him when he threw it in there before we even got to the track. I was like, "Why are you gonna cut that up? Like, how are you?" And he's like, "It's staying in there." And I was like, okay, but like when he's digging around for, our drinks, Phil saw it in there as well, and he kind of pulled it out and was waving it around and, was just being, kids with it. And that's when Mark got the great idea, like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and try to give this to the winner. And I'm looking at him like, oh no, I guess. But I think Denny was too focused on, getting back at the crowd for booing him to realize that there was a whole cucumber just rolling down towards his feet.
All right, who bought it? That's my question.
I bought it, but Mark picked it out.
That is the largest cucumber I've ever seen in my life.
May I ask how much, by the way?
Less than $2. We don't
okay.
have. I wish I had the receipt. Can we turn that light off?
Yeah.
So a $2 cucumber
Yeah.
turned the world up on its head. You know what was crazy? Cody, which he's not here tonight, but he was like, me and him went out last night, and I hadn't really got to talk to him all that much about you all. And Cody was like, so whose idea was it to put the condom on it? And I said,
Right.
What?
Yeah, you didn't realize that?
It didn't have a condom on it.
No, it didn't have a condom on it.
No, they shrink wrap them individually.
They're shrink wrapped.
Oh. Okay.
Everybody
There wasn't
thinks
a
that
condom
too.
on
I
it.
couldn't figure that out. Yeah, that's
I thought it was
package.
too. I thought it was
It's
too.
actually an English cucumber, and for whatever reason, the English cucumbers they wrap in plastic, but they're generally the same price as the normal cucumbers, and they're bigger. So value.
I've been hearing they're the bougie cucumbers of the cucumber world. So
It is. That was just so funny because when he said that, I was like, "What?" I was like, "No, dude, that was just the wrapping, man. That was just the packaging." So.
I seriously thought it was a condom. Like, because a lot of people on Twitter were saying that it was. I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of weird, but I'm honestly glad it wasn't.
Right. I mean, yeah, I kind of feel like I feel like there's going to be a good portion of fans that are going to be very disappointed to find out that I didn't angrily just chuck produce at this man. But that really wasn't the idea. It was really just, hey, I've never seen anybody do this. This will be funny.
And I don't know if any of you guys noticed in that Justin Danger's video, when it flops out and rolls down, or even the regular video, the guy giving the interview he knew it was coming. And if you pay attention to that video, he's kind of turning away from it. That way the camera keeps going away from the crowd because it keeps rolling. And he would turn a little bit, and then he would turn a little. They kept just turning. I don't know if you guys noticed that or not, but I thought that was funny as heck.
I also didn't see that at all.
I didn't.
I learned a whole lot about Denny Hamiln, though, through those Reddit comments and the Twitter comments. I was like, oh, well, that was a perfect, I guess, innuendo.
Yeah.
Apparently, I've been a fan. What's funny is just that I was explaining to Jessy, is that I've been watching NASCAR now for almost 30 years, and every year you have the ability to see and experience something new on a racetrack. Like, it doesn't matter how many races you've watched, there's always gonna be something new that pops up, and you're like, I've never seen that happen before. Like, that's interesting.
Yeah, that was when that come out, I was like, man, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
And it's Bristol. It's just the place is just crazy. It's electric. If anybody's never been to Bristol, go. The night race. Go to the night race. It is absolutely amazing. There's not a bad seat in the house. Everybody talks about Talladega and how crazy it is. I've never been to Talladega. It's on my bucket list, but I'm going to rate every track that I ever go to for the rest of my life. Is the bar is Bristol.
I love Bristol. I do. I went to Talladega for the first time. When was that? I was in 2021, I think.
Yeah.
And I walked in the middle of the track, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is the most craziest shit I've ever seen in my life." Like, it is the most insane place, and it's even more crazier that NASCAR owns it. Like, it's them putting this gigantic party on. It's wild.
And another thing, when you go to Talladega, I don't know if y'all knew this, but every year for Talladega weekend, they do this thing called Left Behind thread on Twitter, where they walk around the campgrounds and they take pictures of like random stuff that people left behind. And there's like
Oh yeah.
burnt couches, TVs, lawnmowers. There was a lawnmower this year, which was really weird. So if you guys ever go to Talladega, which I highly suggest, I think maybe the cucumber should return right there. Just leave it at a random campsite somewhere.
Right. What's really
There we go.
what's really kind of funny is that Bristol actually used the hashtag Bristol Cucumber, and then after like playing around on the internet for like a half a day, I realized that apparently a Bristol cucumber is an actual type of cucumber.
Wait, what? Come again?
Like
Yeah.
like a real cucumber.
Yeah, it's a variety of cucumber.
I did
I
not
had no
know that.
idea. It's y'all's cucumber.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's probably English, not Bristol, Tennessee, but so that's-
Yeah, I think there is a Bristol in England, isn't there? I always forget about that because I used to see it like in geography class, and people would be like Bristol. I'm like, oh shit, dude, that's awesome. And they're like, no, man, it's across the Atlantic. I'm like, all right. Yeah, dude. What was I getting ready to say? I feel like now you have to like play that role, man. Like you will forever be known as the Bristol Cucumber Man.
yeah, I think I'm kind of stuck with that, which oddly is just really funny. And I mean, it's not necessarily the name I would have chose, but it's what you get. So
And we're already working on ideas for next year.
There you go.
Yeah, I was literally just about to say that. I think I was like, Mark, you should just dress in like a big cucumber costume and then just play it up. Like, obviously, don't initiate people throwing shit on the fucking track, but you
Yeah.
should probably play it up next year.
Yeah, because our co-host Cody, who's not here tonight, every time he goes to Martinsville, he dresses up in a big hot dog costume for like the Martinsville hot dogs. So
I love it.
yeah, so there you go. That's a good
That's
idea.
awesome.
I got a quick question for my fellow Ratty Nation member, Phil. So before you came on, I completely forgot that you were the Kyle Busch fan that had the hard hat and he had like the M&M's keychains all over you. I remember I met you last year. So I got to ask you this: with M&M's no longer in sport anymore, do you have any plans on maybe becoming like maybe a 3G man, or are you working on any other type of wardrobe?
It takes a little time to put something like this together, even though it doesn't really look like it. But yeah, we picked up some stuff this weekend down there from the track that we're going to add a new cape to it and start working on a new hat. And I think I'm going to try to involve all of them. It might be a little hard, but I'm going to try.
Hey, there you go. Can't wait to see it.
Oh, I can't wait to do it. It's so much fun, and the looks from you get from people like, you're crazy. I can do that. It doesn't bother me.
Absolutely, because I see you all over the internet from like all types of tracks. Like they're taking pictures of you and your cool hard drive. That's something even I don't do. Like I'm a diehard Kyle Busch fan, and I don't even like take the time to do what you do. So that's really cool, man.
Yeah, he
Thanks.
totally started this. Go ahead, Phil.
We actually painted ourselves up a couple years ago. Me and my cousin's boyfriend. I was the yellow M&M and he was the red M&M. And somebody out of Ratty's pit box was in front of us, videoed us, and put us on YouTube. It's like M&M.avi on YouTube, but it's crazy.
That's really cool, man.
Dude, that's exactly what we've been. It's so crazy, like how we had you guys on this week. We went like viral on Twitter because Dalton flipped off Joey, and people were like, "Man, this is so tasteless. I can't believe
Seen that."
Yeah, dude. And we're like, "Are you guys insane? Like, were you not like? Do you not remember the Earnhardt versus Gordon rivalry? Like how crazy it was?"
Right. And the fact that Joey Gallagher is just awful. He's a terrible, terrible little shit.
I love Joey, man. I do. I love Joey. But
he's like the one. He's the one driver I root against every week. Like I don't like all the Hendrick cars can be out. Like Kyle Busch can be out. I'm down to like nobody, and I'm like I don't even care. Like the pace car can win as long as it's not Joey Logano.
So did you jump up and flip off Joey too when he wrecked?
No, but I cheered. I was very excited about it.
I think a lot of people were happy that he wrecked.
Exactly. But when God forbid when I do it, the world's ending. But
And it was even better that he got eliminated.
Exactly. I tweeted a picture. I tweeted like a selfie of him like in the garage on the scoreboard, and I said, "Enjoy Cancun."
I like
Man,
it.
I'm outnumbered here. I think I'm the only one. I think I'm the only one that likes Joey. Most of the time, that's how it is. I'm like, man, I like.
He's a big Ford fan, by the way, so it's everybody Ford, kind of like my uncle.
Yeah, I'm a big Ford guy. Yeah.
My whole family was Fords. And I jumped ship.
You had to be the dark horse. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. I think that's just that's the whole point of this is like NASCAR is fun. Like you could show up and there's people that are passionate like you three. You guys are passionate as hell. You come in, you have a good time, you party it down. And I think that's what attracts people to come to the track. And there's so many haters on Twitter and YouTube that are like, oh man, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't dress up like that at a racetrack. And I'm like, all right, man, good. Like you're not having fun. These people are having fun. Like,
but that's the thing. They won't dress like that up at a racetrack, but they'll go to a football field and do it.
Yeah.
You know, man, you got grown men doing the same thing we're doing, just in a different sport.
Yeah, and that's so old, man. But once the cucumber rolls and it gets to Denny, that's when I knew. By the way, okay. So when we first started texting, I've been meaning to hit this. We first started texting, all of us. I was like, is this guy like? Is he the real deal? Like, is this the real one? Like, it's like I don't know. And then I was kind of skeptical. I didn't really know. And then the more I talked to you, I was like, this guy's rad. I was like, this guy's awesome as hell. I was like, I love this guy. And then when you said you pushed it to the fence, and I was like, that makes perfect sense. There was no videos that saw that cucumber go over the catch fence. And as many people that would have been recorded at that moment, like somebody would have caught that. Somebody would have been like, oh, I've got the moment where the cucumber goes over. I was like, no, this guy's for real. It makes perfect sense.
Oh yeah, like I'm 6'6", so I tower across to everybody. So like I'm actually like probably 3 rows back from the fence. There's people standing in front of me, but I just like, you know, you can just slide it through. So even if you did videotape it, you'd never actually see me.
You're 6'6".
Yes.
Wow.
Holy shit.
We call him the big giant.
Yeah, I've been waiting for somebody to have that camera angle where you can just see Mark plopping it through the fence, but nobody's surfaced with it yet.
No, that was the thing. I was like, when he said that, I was like, that's perfect sense. And then I was like, that's why nobody had a video of it. I mean, that makes even more sense that you're 6'6". Nope, the hell, no one's seeing that.
Yeah, and what was really crazy is that we were talking about it, and I had just popped up on Twitter and saw that Bristol posted that wanted poster. And then immediately after that, I saw your guys' comment, and I was on the phone with Mark already. And I was like, look, you have to come look at this. They're looking for you now.
Dude, we were detective mode for like a week. We were like, where is this guy? I was going back and looking at like the footage. Like I recorded the race because I always like to record races that I don't get to see on TV. I come back and I'm like, how was the broadcast? And I was like, I don't see it. I don't see it. And then finally when you messaged, it's like, that's my boyfriend. I was like,
yeah.
Oh shit. I texted Cody and I said, yeah, somebody was like, you ratted him out. I'm like, dude, he ain't gonna get banned. Bristol's having fun.
I was on the phone. I didn't want to put like this whole like, yo, chill out post, but I was like, dang, like I didn't rat him out. We were incognito there for a minute because we thought he would get in trouble and get us all banned for going to Bristol. And I'm like, all right, well, let's just simmer this down. It'll go away in about a couple of days. And it just did not.
Yeah, because there's a big group of us all together.
Yeah, that's what Mark was telling me. He said you guys grow by like 1 or 2 every year We're kind of the same way. How many people did we have at our tailgate this year, Dalton?
Oh, we had a lot. We had like I want to say like 24. Yeah, 25.
Yeah. We just meet people. We're like, sometimes it's awesome, and then sometimes I'm like, I gotta shut off the the public me. I just gotta I gotta go find a spot and just chill out for a little bit. Right?
So where do you guys tailgate at?
Toyota parking lot every year. That was the thing about us.
Gotcha.
When we first started this, we didn't want to, like, when we go to the racetracks, we do the racetrack experience. We don't usually go to the infield, stuff like that. We're always we like to go as race fans, and then we just get our content along the way. Where do you guys camp at?
The All-American campground right around back.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's nice. It's clean. They don't put up with no crap.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome. So where you guys from?
Springfield, Ohio.
All of us.
Springfield, Ohio. 6.5 hours.
Yeah, we're in between Columbus and Dayton.
Him 6.5 hours. I got to pull the camper. It takes me about 7.5.
That's sick, though. That's sick.
Yeah,
So what about Bristol was like? What about Bristol was like? Because I mean, obviously, you guys love Bristol. There's no doubt about that. What about Bristol was like, man, this is my spot every year. I got to come to this track.
For me, it was the atmosphere. I mean, it didn't matter what was going on. I mean, that year that they was having snowball fights down there. They had a snowball fight on Saturday, and then Sunday race came, and it was sunny and 70 degrees. It's just the atmosphere is amazing there. I love it.
I mean, it's just the craziest race that I've ever seen. And granted, I haven't been to Talladega's. I haven't been to the drag. What's the Boulevard at Talladega? I haven't been to that yet. But yeah, like I went one year with my dad just by chance. The year before, him and my mom were going to Pigeon Forge or Gatlinburg or something like that, and my dad just mentioned, "Oh, it's the Bristol Night Race today." My mom was like, "Well, we're getting old. Let's go if you want to go." So they went to it, and I was like, "They went to the race without me." And so then the next year, my dad and I drove down, watched the race, and then got a hotel, and then drove home the next day. And so the next year that came around, I was like, "Well, I want to go again." And my dad was like, "I did it 2 years in a row. That's enough." And I was like, "All right, well, if I'm going, I'm going to camp." So I got a friend to go with me, and then I met into them, and then ever since then I've just been camping with these guys and just hitched onto their party. And so this is Phil's party. I'm one of the stragglers that he's picked up along the way.
And we got it from everywhere. We got the one guy, Matt, or where's he from? He was Florida,
but now I think he lives in New Orleans.
New Orleans. Yep. He drives up. He was up here with his father-in-law. We met him last year. He's a really nice guy.
All right. What you guys think of the race itself? Like, because I feel like it's kind of a divided topic on Twitter. With the rules package at the short tracks this season. What you guys think of the race itself? Like, did you enjoy it, or were you just have fun anyway?
I was having fun anyway. We needed a caution with about 10 to go. I needed Larson to have another shot. It seems like it's really hard to pass once the leader gets out, and I don't know if it's so much these cars or if it's just the track in general. Watching both the ARCA, the trucks, the Xfinity, and then the Cup race, they all kind of seem to have the same problem. Once somebody got out in clean air, that they would just kind of check out by a couple of seconds, and there wasn't really a lot the rest of the field could have for them.
Yeah, lap traffic was like the only factor that could make it second place catch.
I think it depends who you are. Because
Larson was 36 seconds. So.
Yeah. But if you remember right, a couple of years ago, and the last car wrecked second lap, 3 laps down, come back running third, got in that 3 wide in the front stretch, and that put him out.
I was there for that one.
Yeah, I've never had my favorite. I've never been to a race at Bristol, where my favorite driver won, and last year was the first time I'd ever had that. I was like, damn. I was like, yeah, all right, yeah. He didn't win this year.
I've been very fortunate. I've been to Indianapolis for the Brickyard twice. I've been to Nashville once, and I've now been to Bristol 4 times. But I've been really lucky to see really cool people win. The first year Indy was Stewart. The next year was Jimmy Johnson, so I got to see my driver win. The next race I watched was a Bristol race. That was Harvick. The next year was Larson. Then I went to Nashville. I saw Chase Elliott win, Chris Buescher, and then now Hamlin.
I don't mean to brag, but I've seen Kyle win 13 times so far in my life.
Only one so far. But I've gotten 3 Hendrick wins. I've seen 3 of them. I've been there for 3 out of 500 or whatever they're up to now.
Me and my wife was actually in the pits at Bristol the one year. I can't remember what year it was. He was driving the skills car, and I had my outfit on, and the Fox guy come and got me and actually took me up into victory lane. And I thought that was really cool.
Were you also there in 2017 when he swept the night race?
No, that was going to be our first night race. But some things had happened and we couldn't come. So we give a buddy of ours our tickets. We was kind of upset we missed it, but glad he did it.
Okay, I got you.
So can I ask this? Now that the Cucumber is this is Cody's question. I don't want to take responsibility for this. He wanted me to ask this. But Cody's like, now that the Cucumber is probably the strangest thing ever put through a catch fence.
Probably.
What's next? What would be the next strangest thing? Or would you do it?
I live by a couple of different sayings, and one of those sayings is if you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. I feel like I played a stupid game, but I didn't end up with a stupid. I mean, this is my prize, I guess. But I don't know that I would. Like next year, I might take a Cucumber with me. I might try to hand it to the driver, but I think I'll just keep it on my side of the fence when I'm done if they don't take it. I don't know that I'm doing this a second time. Like,
I love it. Dalton, you got any?
I'm just kind of
poke the bear that is Bristol. You know what I mean?
I'm kind of waiting for other tracks to see if Hamlin wins, to see if it pops up again. And
you know what was funny? I was at the race where the chant, the infamous Talladega chant, I'm not going to say it, happened. And I was like, this might be like, I just witnessed history. Like this is literally shaping the world. And then now that I'm like sitting here thinking about it, Cucumber's second biggest or first biggest. It passed up the chant. This is the biggest thing that's ever happened in Bristol. There's just never been anything like that happen. I love it. It's like the hockey games with the catfish being thrown over the thing.
Squid. Didn't somebody throw a squid?
Yeah. I forget which team that is that throws the squid.
That is, I think that was
Red
Detroit.
Wings.
Yeah, the Red Wings. Yep.
Yeah, they throw the squids. Like, and that's the thing. Like, if they can get into a hockey game with a catfish, Cucumber, you're right. Like that's.
Well, I mean, that's true. Like, yeah.
Fun fact: do you know how they do that, Jacob?
Saran wrap it to their leg, don't they?
Like their chest.
Oh, they put it on their chest.
Yeah.
What?
And they somehow just get because I'm actually a Preds fan, as you can see. So they know how to do it. Yeah, it smells pretty bad, but they figure out a way to do it. And they're big too, which is the weirdest thing. Like I'm like, how do you guys not catch that? Just I don't know, but shout out to National Predators. They make it work.
But you're gonna sit and smell that bad for 3-4 hours?
They wait till like the start of the game. Really, they don't like wear it the whole time. They just like wait till like the very beginning of the game. Really, but yeah, that became a thing like in 2017 when they went to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time. But it's also like a trend in NHL, like for anything. Like I know the Florida Panthers do like toy rats. There was also one time where the Preds were playing at Anaheim, the Anaheim Ducks. One of them threw like a dead duck onto the ice. So yeah, it's pretty wild.
Guess
I
it's a
think
good thing I didn't throw a bass on the track. I guess then.
Yeah, no, dude. Somebody's.
I feel like that would send a completely different message, though. Like it starts getting mafia vibes at that point. You start throwing seafood on the track.
Yeah, they're gonna just pick one up from the live well on a boat and just show up with it and throw it over.
I'm just worried that maybe somebody's going to try to one up the cucumber next year.
I feel like that. No worries if they do. Like if they do that, then
Right.
they're
If
gonna,
they do that, that's on them.
Yeah.
Right.
My interest is to see is that if you go to Bristol, you've got like outside of where the hauler trailers are, the merchandising trailers, you have like that little like flea market dirt mall going all the way down that road. I'm curious to see if somebody's selling like bootleg cucumber shirts next year.
oh, you know
Oh,
it
they
is.
should.
You know they're
They
going
should.
to. Yeah.
Yep.
Because if somebody makes one, I'm buying one.
You should do like the
Or I'm gonna make my own.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you should do like the instead of like I'm Pickle Rick, like I'm Cucumber Mark. Like the mouth.
Great. So yeah, like Kyle Busch decided to win when he won Nashville. He smashed that guitar and gave every person a piece of it. So like if you win, you get the cucumber. You take that fancy sword they give you in Victory Lane, start slicing it up. Everyone gets a slice.
We got a new thing on this show where we call it the Brass Award, and we're gonna give it to the driver who finishes 17th in the points. We're just gonna show up. It's like a little medal. We're just gonna show up and hand it to them.
Okay. Why 17?
They're either gonna really like get the joke, or they're just gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm never coming on your show ever again."
Why 17th?
We just think it's funny. Like
Okay,
genuinely, like I was like really the real reason is like it's funny, but the real reason is because like we feel like the points battle below the cutoff isn't really looked at very well.
That's fair. Like if you finish the regular season 17th, nobody cares. Like
yeah, and it's like, hey man, like you were close. Like, you just didn't make it into the playoffs. So the whole point of it is like bring a little bit of odds on like 17th and below.
Like, you almost made it.
Yeah, like almost made it. And we were just like, what color, like what material should the metal be made out of? And I was like, what's the materials? And we were like, all right, there's gold. We know that. There's silver. There's bronze. And then like I had no idea brass was a thing. And I'm like, that's perfect. It's a brass award.
Just smash down a bunch of aluminum beer cans and then just mold it out of that.
Just hand it to them. Yeah, congrats. Yeah, we've been playing it up. We're like, this is the biggest award ever. You guys will never have an award like this.
That would be great.
As
Cup Series Championship, Left Turn Colt Brass Award. Like that's the ranking.
I love it.
As of right now, Ty Gibbs is leading 17th in points.
I have a feeling he's not gonna like it.
He probably not at all.
Like I was like, I don't care if he takes it or not. Like I'll still show up at the race shop. I was like, we're gonna have like red carpet come out and like with a trumpet.
That's awesome.
Like, hey man, you won. And he's gonna be like, who in the hell are you guys? We're gonna be like,
you're like, why are all these old guys trying to give me weird crap?
yeah.
But then they're gonna be like, oh wait, the cucumber guy. This makes perfect sense. We got this. Like, we're with him. We understand now.
Yeah. Other than that, that's all I really had. Dalton, did you have any closing questions? I don't want to keep you guys up all night either.
No, you're right.
I do have one more. I know we haven't seen the 2024 schedule yet. I don't know when that's going to be released, but do you guys have any plans for maybe next season on maybe new racetracks? Are you going to come back to Bristol?
I will definitely be back in Bristol. I'm guessing Phil will. Jessy?
Yes, I will be. We bring our kids back in the spring, let them enjoy it. They got to see the dirt, so next spring they'll get to see the concrete, which I'm excited for them to see. And then, then come September, it's adult time.
That's right.
I am currently undecided. It was overwhelming this time, but it was also my first want and I forfeited my Foo Fighter tickets to go to Bristol, and I just want to be recognized.
You chose Bristol over Dave Grohl?
I did. I was at Riot Fest in Chicago. They were playing, and I had tickets to Bristol, so I just kind of eeny, meeny, miny, mowed it.
I feel like you got to come back next year. Like all three of you.
Yeah, now I really want to, but that festival is always on the same weekend, and Bristol is always on the same weekend, so it's got to be like a toss up. But I had so much fun this year, and it was really cool to sit in seat 13 for my dad. He passed away 3 years ago, so he was a huge NASCAR fan. So like it was super cool to experience it all. I got to write his name on the start and finish line, so it was really neat. And it's probably something I will not want to skip just because it just gets wild there. And maybe I'll play babysitter this year or next year, because I wasn't this year. I was just like, you know what, you guys do.
And this was the craziest year too, because most years, things are just kind of quiet, and it ramps up from Thursday to Friday to Saturday. And Friday night, we ended up getting to meet Josh Williams, the 92.
That was awesome.
So that was great. The people camping behind us were family with him. Sue, and I can't think of her last name. Sorry. So she was like, hey, when you guys are done with the race, come back over here. They're right behind us. We hung out with them, and we got to meet Josh Williams for about an hour or so. We all got a signature, got a group picture with him. He was the most down-to-earth guy. He sat and answered all of our dumb questions. So we will definitely be dressing up in Josh Williams gear next year. So just look for the Xfinity Series race. If you want to figure out where we're at, just look for the people that are crazily dressed up for Josh Williams.
Dude, that guy's a baller. As soon as he stopped that car in the start-finish line and got out and was like, peace out, I was like, dude, this guy's my hero, man.
And
I loved it.
And you know what? He let us bring it up, too, when we were meeting him. Like, it got brought up, and he was so humble about it, too. He was just like, well, I don't know.
They didn't tell me where to park it. They just said park it. They didn't tell me where. Yeah, he was super cool. He was super fun. He was a lot of fun. He was really personable.
What he said, what did he say? He said, what are you going to do, find me? I can't afford it.
I can't pay it.
Yeah.
I can't pay it.
It's like, it just takes all their thunder away from them. Oh, man.
Like, yeah, that guy was awesome. So he was really cool. So we were rooting for him on Saturday or on Friday night. He was one of the drivers we were all rooting for. So
yes. That's what I love about Josh Williams. Like, I remember when all that happened, he started making like parking t-shirts, and I know he's like big into charity, and all of his like t-shirts went to charity. So that was really cool to see.
Right?
Yeah, it was.
Parking shirt.
Well, next year we're gonna have to kick it at a tailgate together. We're gonna have
absolutely.
Just let us know where we're going.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we'll go have some fun. And like if you guys decide to go to Dega, definitely text me. I will show you the full tour. It's great.
All right,
that'd be awesome.
I've got my sister's family. There's someone in my sister's family that lives down in Talladega, and apparently they're only like a half hour away from the track. So I may have to try to figure out how to make that work one of these years.
All right.
I'm kind of hoping to come back to Kentucky Speedway.
Honestly, same, dude. I miss Kentucky. I went to the final Kentucky race before COVID happened.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that racetrack. Like, just
I was actually there for my first time there, and we was walking around, and I had my get up on, and old Clint Boyer walked out and told me, he said, "Holy shit, son, what'd you fall into?" I just shook my head. And
dude, I love Clint. Clint's a personality, man.
Yeah, he's got a good one.
Other than that, where do people reach you all? You got to give your socials out. I know you guys got a page now specifically for the event.
So far we have a TikTok and a Twitter. It's just Bristol Cucumber, and we're working on the other ones as we speak. So, So if anybody wants to chat or give us ideas of merchandise you all would like, we'll see what we can come up with.
the pickle rig, dude. I'm advocating that one. That one's my favorite.
My
I
wife
forgot.
told me he needs to make one that's king pickle. Give him a king hat and just have pickles dangling off of it.
I love that, dude.
Uh,
What about you other two? Where do people reach you at on your socials?
Oh, I mean, my biggest thing is just Facebook, which I don't really do a whole lot, but it's just Phil McConaughey. Can't miss it. It's all Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
There you go, my guy.
Yeah, and I'm on I'm on Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. It's all just Jessy Cox. But I'm a little incognito because of my job, so I'll filter through.
Okay, fair enough. I can edit all that out, by the way. We can edit that out. But yeah, that's all I have. Dalton, you got anything? Last closing remarks?
Just thank you guys for joining us. Like, you guys are really cool dudes. Just I love hearing your story. Yeah, thanks for answering our questions. Just really appreciate y'all having us on.
Absolutely.
Hey, anytime.
I mean, it's Bristol, baby.
It's Bristol, baby.
Bristol.
Let's go.
Genuinely, thank you for letting us break this. I can't say
Absolutely. No problem. Like I said, it's been a wild ride. It's been a lot of fun. I did it just because I thought it'd be funny. I thought it'd be, just nobody's ever done this before. And then, like I said, we woke up the next day and drove home, and then you start seeing all the stuff go through social media. And it went from a mix of being like, holy crap, this is hysterical, this is really funny, to, oh God, I'm going to end up, there's going to be a black van at my house soon, like being like, we're taking you back to Tennessee. So,
that's hilarious.
so I'm glad everything worked out. I had a great time. It seems like the fans all enjoyed it. Then that's all it is. Like, Bristol is it's a party. It's a huge, just fun, great atmosphere. Everybody is super cool. Everyone's really friendly, and it's the best place to go.
And that's what I can say is having that outfit on, the Kyle Busch outfit. Everybody never used to like him as much as they do now, and I never had any trouble with anybody. You know what I mean? They might boo me or whatever, but it's just cool. Everybody gets along, has a good time, and enjoys the weekend and watches the race.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about. I want to thank you guys for coming on. I'm sure we'll chat after I end the recording.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Anytime you want
anytime. Thank you.
I'll be back.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely have to do some stuff. Whether like I told you, Mark, whether it's we watch a race or whatever. But I've definitely enjoyed talking to you guys over the past couple of days. So it's been fun.
Yeah, it's
a good crowd. It's a good time. I can promise you that.
It is awesome.
It is with us too. We've got some pretty wild ones out there. Coop that's on this show is the craziest one. He's insane.
Oh,
there's that guy that duct taped himself and decided to sunburn himself for 2 days.
Oh, dude. Yeah, man. We
met him too.
He's a listener. Did you know that, Dalton? He listens to our show like frequently.
Yeah, me and Cody talked to him after the race Friday night.
Didn't even know that.
Listen, I did that in 2005 with Mark Martin. I've got my pictures at home, and I'll have to get them and take pictures and send them to you. But I had heart surgery in 2005, so I'm on blood thinners. Before then, I could go out in the sun and it wouldn't bother me. So that's the same year it snowed during the Xfinity race. So we get up. My dad paints Viagra real big across my chest and get her done, and a big 6 on my back and Martin. So I go out. We go to the track. I'm in the track it's a spring race all day. I come back. We wash up, get everything to go. I ended up with 3rd-degree sunburns. I had Viagra across my chest for almost a year. Yeah, I've got pictures.
Dude.
That is, first of all, badass.
Passionate fans. These are passionate fans, dude, and I love it.
Yeah. This is the passion the sportsman's into. Holy shit. Oh, man.
Oh, it's just Bristol.
Yeah. It's a fever dream. Is what I like.
I mean, it really is. You pull into that campground, you unpack, and then you're like, once everything is set up, you're like, yeah, give me something to crack open. Let's go.
Yeah,
And
community. It's a community.
and you
all on its
just
own.
start that, and you just keep that level until Saturday night, and you get back to your campsite, and you're like, and that's it, I'm done, I'm gonna crash. And then in the
Yeah.
morning you wake up and you pack it all home, and you're like, ugh, and have to drive 6.5 hours home, or
Dude, there was
7 or 8, depending if you film.
Yeah.
there was one year at Daga, they have like this it's like this golf cart. They have a chair on it, and the chair is hooked to the drive shaft. And so when they move the wheels, the chair
I
spins.
seen that.
Yeah, man. I'd had a little fun the night before. I've quit drinking since then. I'm sober now. But I'm sober now for about, I think 6-7 months. But yeah, dude, I got spun on that thing.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I got spun on that thing, and dude, that was the worst moment of my life. That
I
was
can
terrible.
imagine.
Oh, I was sick the rest of the day. I don't even remember who won. I genuinely can't even tell you. I think it was Bubba.
I can't even ride the spinny rides at the fair.
Oh, honestly, same. It makes me sick too.
Yeah.
Makes me sick. But thank you guys again. Seriously, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anytime. Great times.
You're welcome anytime, man.
We're gonna kick it soon. But
All right.
this has been Left Turn Cult Off the Track. Thank you, Dalton, for hopping on tonight.
Yes, sir.
We'll talk to you guys later.
All right. Have a good night.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
And short track racing.